So this is Honker country, is probably what I'm going to end up titling this, because honk, 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 honk.
Honk strong.
Yeah, love the Goose Game memes especially, just people screaming their wheels, just making it go honk. And of course, the question the last time we did a segment on this is, where the hell is Trudeau? Because, like Colonel Gaddafi, or Ben Ali or something, he just disappeared. And, well, we have some updates. So if we go to the image here, we have the first link. This is Justin Trudeau saying that this morning I tested positive COVID-19. That was the third vaccine working out for you. I'm feeling well and will continue to work remotely this week while following public health guidance. Everyone, please get vaccinated and boosted.
Even the first response that you can see there, honk, 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 honk,
I was
honk.
immediately about to mention. You just want to scroll down and look at the responses because, of course, they're as good as you want. And I really love Poso's response there. Just honk, 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 honk. It's absolute gold. Yeah, anyway, moving on. So let's go to the next link. So we have some updates, which is apparently that there are some truckers at one of the Canadian-US borders in Alberta, and apparently it's like the major one, so basically anyway in and out, are just deciding that they're going to blockade the border, as in no cross-border.
Nothing in, nothing out.
No.
Great.
Simple as. No.
Canadians finally building a wall of trucks.
And it goes honk. And as you can see, Lauren Shen here noting, convoy truckers vote to keep the blockade going at the Canadian-US border despite legal threats from authorities. I'm being 100% sincere when I say watching this brings a tear to my eye. If only Canadian politicians cared as much for our freedoms as these people do. And you can see this footage. I believe it's from Rebel News who are down there recording everything. Of course, being a Canadian outlet, this dear to their hearts. And it's just the truckers going, do you want to continue doing this? And they're all like, yeah.
Yep.
Good.
Nice.
That's some good union work right there. The Freedom Union. If we go to the next link as well, we can see the map of the situation. So as you can see, it's like the major road in and out. I have no idea if there are side roads. I presume not because it's so vast. But if that's where they're doing it. And if we go to the next link, you can also see the fact that Ezra is out there himself and apparently is trying to crowdfund for these people, the people who are protesting in the Capitol, all the rest of it. So, just nice to see, frankly. But there's another person, of course, who has a high interest in the honks. It's Elon Musk. Elon Musk having a big thing. So we can see here, and I believe we mentioned this previously, which is Elon Musk being in support of the truckers. And here he makes a great point. It would appear that the so-called fringe minority is actually the government. They are the fringe minority. The majority are the truckers. And if we go to the next one, there's something I noticed he responded to. So Dinesh D'Souza says, tweets are fine, Elon Musk, but you can dramatically change the political and cultural landscape this way. Number 1, buy and take over major social media platforms. 2, acquire or create a TV network like ABC, NBC, or CBS. And 3, create a world-class online university and offer degrees for free. And if we scroll down, we can see Elon's just like, interesting ideas. I mean,
maybe time to expand my portfolio.
Yeah, I also love how Elon Musk, there's a wonderful meme of just like from a salmonella or something where he's sat on this pile of cash. He's like, if only there was a way someone like me could affect political change. Hang on, wait a minute.
Oh, wait. Now, Elon has been shockingly based recently on Twitter. He's been saying all sorts of stuff that brings a tear to my eye, like when he was saying that the government is the biggest cartel around and they have a monopoly on violence. And it's like, yes, all of these things are true, Elon.
Yeah.
Spread the good word.
It's great to see. But we can also see brave Sir Justin, so the one who ran away, proudly ran away. Yeah, he decided to give a statement, and you can see Disclosed TV listing the statement, and it's pathetic. And I think we should just play it.
And rallies in the past, when I agreed with the goals, when I supported the people expressing their concerns and their issues. Black Lives Matter is an excellent example of that. But I have also chosen to not go anywhere near protests that have expressed hateful rhetoric, violence towards fellow citizens, and a disrespect, not just of science, but of the frontline health workers and, quite frankly, the 90% of truckers who have been doing the right thing to keep Canadians safe, to put food on our tables. Canadians know where I stand. This is a moment for responsible leaders to think carefully about where they stand and who they stand with.
Insane.
Everything he says sounds like a veiled threat.
Yeah.
I swear to God, you've got to think carefully about where you're going to stand. Bog off. For goodness sakes, freedom isn't a good enough cause for you, but something going on across the border with BLM, oh no, that you're more than welcome to come out and have loads of press photos taken in support of that, aren't you, Justin?
It was essentially a statement of, I hate the truckers and I stand with left-wing nonsense. I mean, the position he took there, I stand with BLM, not with movements with hateful rhetoric and violence. We talking about the same BLM.
Yeah.
They're hurting healthcare workers. You remember all those buildings that were being burnt down? Remember the like dozen odd people who ended up murdered? Never mind all the people who were injured in all those riots? No? David Dawn?
No, they were all hateful bigots.
David Dawn deserved it. Justin Trudeau. Right. Okay.
Wonderful.
What a pathetic statement.
It's not said anything we didn't already know. Justin loves left-wing ideology and hates freedom.
Yeah, but I also do hate the fact that he would dare condemn these truckers by trying to compare them to BLM. I'm sorry, they're much, much better than that.
I'm sure he's using that one example of some of the people with the hateful flags out with like the Nazi flag who were just immediately shooed off by everyone.
Him in costume. He condemns himself.
Yes.
So, as you can see here, Post are also posting that truckers are apparently now chanting meet with us at Trudeau because, well, that is how this gets solved, which is just talk to your own constituents, the Canadians. And
that's literally your job.
What did you I mean, your job isn't dressing up. I know that is what you like to do, but that is not actually the job title. And if we can continue on this, so we can go to Trudeau's response. So there are various responses to this demand. And Trudeau's one being essentially, leave me alone. I don't want to talk to you.
Go away.
Yeah. And as you can see, so we're posting here, I know this pandemic is frustrating. Why? Why is it frustrating? Because of the government's own actions to enforce these mandates upon the truckers and everyone else. It's frustrating that after 2 years, we're not done fighting COVID-19. You can stop it tomorrow, bro. We've stopped it here. I love that we live in the UK because, quite frankly, right now, there is none of this. And all of this stuff going on in the colonies looks absurd. I mean, it looks like news from a year ago or something when everyone was obsessed with, if we just get vaccinated, it'll be over, bro. It's like, no, it doesn't work. It's all the government.
It does. I mean, we've pulled back a load of the restrictions. The mandatory vaccinations seem to be being pulled away from the NHS and frontline social care workers and other
It
such
wasn't
things.
because everyone got vaccinated. Everyone was already bloody vaccinated. What killed it was Boris Johnson being caught with his trousers around his ankles, presumably effing a cake or something, or whatever other party.
I mean, he went eating, right? So
yeah,
fair chance.
Look, it's not a pig's head, so
then it's a step up. We're improving in our leadership slowly.
Yes. So the UK has shown that no, this is all political. This is not about vaccinations. This is not about any of that. It is all the decision of the central government. So he continues in here. But over the past few days, Canadians have been shocked and frankly disgusted by the behaviour by some people protesting in our nation's capital. You weren't shocked by the church burnings throughout Canada? No? What about the Queen Victoria statue that was beheaded?
Well, don't you know the church burnings, they found some disturbed ground somewhere that left-wing outlets said was mass grave sites. Not found any graves.
Could be, though.
But maybe.
Who cares about that? But as you can see here, I mean, you remember when the statue of Queen Victoria was torn down? Trudeau not offended by this, not offended that the mother country is essentially being disrespected in a huge regard there. No interest whatsoever. This is justice. We go back to his statement, because he continues. God knows what reason. I want to be very clear. We're not intimidated by those who hurl abuse at small business workers and steal food from the homeless. There's some accusations being made against the truckers. We won't give in to those who fly racist flags. One dude with a Confederate flag wearing a mask.
And the truckers also didn't give in to him.
But also wearing a mask. You know those truckers, big fans of masks. Right. And we won't cave to those who engage in vandalism or dishonour the memory of our veterans. Which you're totally not doing by making the country not a free place. Right. There is no place in Canada for this behaviour. So to those responsible, it needs to stop. And to those who joined the convoy but are uncomfortable with the symbols of hatred and division on display, be courageous and speak out. Do not stand for it or otherwise with intolerance and hate. And it's like, well, they have, as you mentioned.
Yeah, they already did.
So I don't know what the point in any of that was, other than just, I don't like the truckers again. It's just a big long Twitter thread where he's like, the truckers are bad. Why? Well, they disagree with me. Okay, they have a different religion than the tyrant religion. I don't know what to say. But what was interesting is apparently he reworded this and deleted his original tweet.
Oh, do we have a copy of the original?
Oh, well, someone said that they saw the original because it already got deleted. And he says here, he changed the wording because talking about damage to small business is the wording he used previously. And then he changed it to hurl abuse at small businesses because he realized he's been taking a flamethrower to small businesses for the last 2 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
And supported BLM, who were ever so kind to small business.
The lockdown man is kind of the one killing the small businesses, not the truckers turning up and being like, oi, be reasonable or blockade. So if we continue on this, we'll go to the next tweet, which is also a deleted tweet of note, which is Ottawa City Councillor launches court proceedings against Canada's trucker convoy, targeting the nearly $10 million in funds frozen by GoFundMe to cover the city's expenses. Right. You're just going to steal the money, are you? That's your plan. There's a reason they deleted it, because it doesn't make any sense. But good try. I also like that the GoFundMe has now raised to 10 mil, which is awesome to see. But GoFundMe need to release that damn money. And if we go to the following example, because we kind of expect this from Colonel Justin and his followers, but I was really, and I don't know why I am, because I don't know Canadian politics that well, but the Conservatives, I don't know what they're doing.
Are they British Conservatives?
By the looks of it.
Oh.
You've been handed a winning movement on a platter, and you're rejecting it. I don't know why. As you can see, Lauren Chen here on Getter saying the Conservative Party of Canada doesn't want this loser, so this is Aaron O'Toole, and saying he should resign in disgrace and so forth. And you might wonder why. Well, because he decided to say there are two roads open to the Conservative Party of Canada. One road of Randy Hiller and Derek Salone. It's angry, negative, and extreme. It's a dead end. One that would see the parties of Confederation become the NDP of the right. I don't... This is the easiest question of our time. Do you stand with the Freedom Truckers or with the Colonel Justin as he bravely runs away from the capital because he can't help being told, honk, honk, let me be free? It's pathetic. I don't know what to say. Also, it's just another example of how major parties just live off momentum by the looks of it. Just the momentum of being a major party. That's all you've got.
And this is such a politician's response, just not answering the question.
No, just instead, we've got two options, and one of them's extreme and negative. Just stand with the truckers, dude. Stop wasting everyone's time. However, there is the deputy leader who decided to do something interesting. So if we go to the next link, you can see her here, and Rebel News reporting on it. This is the Conservative MP, and she decided to point out that Mr. Blackface over there is accusing the truckers of racism because one of his fans turned up with a Confederate flag. He can go to hell. And I thought I'd also find the full clip and we'd go through a bit of the parliamentary debate because it really has degenerated into a level of just squabbling because the Justin Trudeau position is
a pretty typical parliament there.
Yeah, sort of. But it's also great to see. Let's play.
I do get very defensive of Canadians who are outside today, patriotic, peace-loving Canadians who are called misogynists and racist by the Prime Minister. So again, I will ask the Prime Minister, who may I remind this House wore blackface on more times than he can remember, apologize to the peace-loving, patriotic Canadians who are outside right now just asking to be heard. Will he speak to them?
The Honourable Government House Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think this is a moment where we have to acknowledge that the protests that have occurred have made their point. And I would ask the member opposite to encourage the people that are outside to continue in a way that is peaceful, that moves beyond what we have seen. Ottawa is being paralyzed right now. There is a moment where we need to de-escalate. There's a moment where we need to bring it down. And I'm asking the members opposite, instead of going outside with these protests, to...
Yeah, it just is devolved.
Yeah, just a cacophony right there.
But it's because it's so ridiculous. I mean, you've got Justin Trudeau's ministers arguing, you guys need to de-escalate the situation. You're the one in government. You're the one with legal power. You're the one who extended that legal power to the point of insisting on vaccine mandates on truckers that then caused the truckers to be all at your house throwing piss everywhere and honking their horns.
There's a very simple answer to all of this. If people are complaining to you about the honkers being outside of their houses honking all day, there's a very simple solution.
Who escalated the situation? Who can only be the one who escalated the situation because they're the only ones with legal power?
Well, the truckers didn't mandate anything on themselves, did they?
No. It's insane. And you can see just the temperament of the House there also just be like, oh, this is mad. Come on, this is indefensible. And I love her making the point, it's just anytime Justin Trudeau calls anyone racist, dude, you're blackface man. You're literally known as blackface man.
He's not just blackface man, he's done everything against leftist ideology in terms of appropriating others' culture.
Yes.
I mean, he is the master of disguise, after all. That's why we're having such trouble finding him.
He could be anyone. He could even be me. He could be you.
Aha!
Oh, boy. Yeah, so that's the Canadian response as far as I can see. The Trudeauian response of leave me alone, please, and then looking like idiots because you're the ones who started this, you morons. And the Conservatives mixed. And let's look at the Yankee response because this I found also very interesting. So this is a link here which shows that apparently this is a news report on MSNBC in which some truckers in California are trying to start up a convoy of their own in which they want to go from California to Washington, D.C. and bring as many people with them. So I don't know, maybe this will blow up, maybe it won't, but it's funny to see either way.
I like that it's inspiring other people across the world to go like, hold up, we can just do that.
Yeah, I own trucks too.
We don't have to. We don't have to burn anything down, even peacefully.
No,
we can just drive.
Honk honk. Honk honk honk. Honk honk. Give me freedom. it's that simple. And if we go to someone else who enjoys the bing bongs of driving a truck, we go to Donald Trump, of course, came out and did a speech in which he said he stands with the Canadian truckers all the way.
Good man.
Absolutely. So American truckers as well, I'm sure. Have a look at that convoy. And, well, left-wing Yankees, what did they decide to do? So if we go to MSNBC, they decided to call them a cult, as in the truck drivers. Are cultists?
Coming from leftists.
A cult of freedom.
I mean, it's a better cult than I've heard of.
It's not a terrible insult.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Let's play this.
Where were these protests when people were required to get 5 vaccines to start school? Where were these protests when people were required to give their children 5 vaccines?
They were in the doctor's office getting vaccines.
They were in the doctor's office getting vaccines, and they were making fun of left-wingers on the West Coast for being loopy anti-vaxxers.
Okay.
Now they have met the enemy, and the enemy, their enemy, themselves, because they've become what they hated. They've become what they mocked. And now they're taking food from soup kitchens because they're so put upon for being asked to do what they've been asked to do, required to do their entire lives. It's a cult.
Yes, it is.
What?
I don't know. I mean,
what were any of those points? What argument was he making?
Didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Let's try and go through some of that. So he mentions that where were the protests when everyone was getting their 5th shot or whatever? They were all getting their 5th shot.
Well, I mean,
again,
which shot are you referring to? I assume he's referring to all of the previous vaccines. I mean, there is a difference.
But then these truckers, the anti-vaxxers, they were all getting their shots. Yeah, think about that. Think about that in your head for more than a second. The anti-vaxxers were all getting their shots. And then it was mandated that they had to get their shots and then weren't happy about that. It wasn't they were asked to, they were required to, as he said himself. It's insane. They're a cult because they like freedom. I don't know what is up with the quality of left-wing dialogue at this point.
There's left-wing brains that you need to worry about.
Almost incoherent. However, this is, of course, corporate media. And someone made the great comparison, which is that it also is literally the capital from the Hunger Games. I mean, not only with the location, the corporate press types.
It almost seems like pointless to make the comparison, but it just keeps being correct.
And if we go to the next link, we can see someone doing a redub of that exact image. As you can see here, may the honks be ever in your favor. We have them dressed up. The dress-up fits so well. That's the thing. It really does come across. Trucks of terror block streets of glorious capital with racist honking. Oh,
well,
boy.
I mean, we are a bunch of honkies, so I see the point
honkers.
now.
Yeah. And also the point there that he tried to make, and it didn't make the point he wanted it to, I suppose, because I have no idea what else he was making.
Was it pointing out that all the left-wing coastal elites were the crystal hippy-dippies going against the vaxxers in the past?
Maybe, but it was the point he made about the fact that they were all getting their shots and now they're unhappy about still being bothered by the government. Isn't that funny? It's like, no, it's perfectly coherent. And if we go to the next link, we could see Jordan Peterson making that coherent point previously. As you can see here, I mean, he said that he got the vaccine. Okay, I'll get the damn thing. Now you leave me alone. Did that work? No.
Yeah, you changed the rules on us after we'd already done what we were supposed to. So what does that say for the future? It just means you're just going to keep changing the rules to get what you want.
Who should ever believe these people when they say, oh, just get your 10th shot and everything will be over? No. That's not going to be over.
11th is the last one, guys. We swear.
It's over when we find you having a birthday party in the middle of lockdown, apparently. That's when it's over. So if we go to the last link here, I also wanted to mention old Trudeau, who's had something to say back in the day, and compare that to modern Trudeau. While many of us are working from home, there are others who aren't able to do that, like the truck drivers, who are working day and night to make sure our shelves are stocked. So you can please #thank a trucker for everything they're doing to help them however you can. Yeah. Help a trucker. Thank a trucker. Do everything you can to help them. I endorse this message. If you enjoyed that segment from the podcast The Lotus Eaters, you can go to lotuseaters.com to get access to all the premium content we have on the site, such as the epochs that went up over the weekend. This is between Bo and special guest Apostolic Majesty about the origins of World War I. If you want to find out what else is coming out on the website, you can always follow us at Getter at lotuseaters_com being the @. Thank you and goodbye.